Parents call it choking, coaches call it nerves, but here's the truth. This isn't weakness, it's biology. Welcome to the Around the Dirt Coffee Talk. I'm your host, BJ Johnson, and every week we're serving up a hot cup of truth, strategy, and motivation for players, parents, and coaches in the bat and ball community. So grab your coffee, settle in, and let's talk. What's up, everyone? Listen, before I get into today's conversation, I wanted to take time to thank everyone for all the love from our previous episodes. The feedback has been unreal, and it tells me that we're hitting the real conversations that parents and coaches want to hear. We actually received some additional DMs asking us to discuss mental health. Now, in no way am I an expert in this field, but I wanted to give you some insights as a former player, a coach, and a parent. And in full transparency, as I do get older, I get more sensitive on this topic. So today I'm kicking off a 4-part series on mental health in youth sports. So let's start with a story that I bet many of you can relate to. As a trainer, I hear it all the time from parents. BJ, my daughter crushes it in practice, but it's not translating into a field. And I get it. I mean, inside the cage here at SFS, it's a controlled environment. There's no runners on base. There's no crowd noise. There's no coaches yelling verbiage that you've never heard before. It's just them, the ball, and the reps. But the game is different. Some kids thrive in that chaos and others freeze. And that's where mental skills come in. The more we expose our kids to this controlled chaos or pressure with a safety net, the better they'll be when the lights turn on. And that's what this series is all about. Let's start with the most obvious mental health challenge in sports. We all know it. Pressure. We've all seen it. Your athlete is smashing balls in practice, but come game time, the shoulders get tight, the swing slows down. They don't look like they're even the same kid. Parents call it choking, coaches call it nerves, but here's the truth. This isn't weakness, it's biology. When the game's on the line, the body goes into what we call fight or flight mode. The heart rate spikes, the breathing shortens, and then your vision narrows. I was reading something from Dr. Sian Beilock. I don't know if you guys heard of her, but she's one of the leading voices in this field, and she calls it paralysis by analysis. Now, under stress, kids stop trusting their swing, and they start overthinking every single detail. So instead of see ball, hit ball, their brain says, keep your elbow in. Don't drop your hands. Don't miss. And then what happens? They miss. Our job as parents and coaches is to give them the tools that help them handle that moment, not avoid it. After researching this topic, here are a few things you can try right away to help your kids. 1, pre-performance routines. Now, just like every hitter has their setup in the box, you need to build a short routine. So step in, 1 breath, tap the plate. It gives the brain control in a moment that feels uncontrollable. 2, have some external cues, meaning instead of you yelling, don't drop your hands, say, drive it up the middle. Athletes perform better when they focus on a target, not necessarily their mechanics. Number 3 is what they call expressive writing. This one is new to me because I'm just not familiar with it, but research suggests that before a tournament, have them write everything down that they get nervous about, whether it's striking out, letting their team down, whatever it is. That research also shows this clears the mental space so those thoughts don't clog their swing. And then 4, reframe the nerves. Teach your athlete that the butterflies they are feeling before stepping into the box, it's not fear, it's their body gearing up. Call it energy, call it fuel. The body doesn't know the difference. And finally, self-compassion. Mistakes are part of the game. If Shohei Ohtani can strike out 3 times in a game, you best believe your 12-year-old is allowed to strike out 3 times in a game as well. So take the fear out of failure. Now, let's be real. Parents and coaches, we either build pressure or help athletes handle it. So here are some quick do's and don'ts. Don't yell, "Relax," from the bleachers. That just makes them more tense. However, do give a simple cue like, "Hey, see ball, hit ball." Don't bring up stats in the car ride home. However, do ask, "What's the one thing you had fun with today?" All right. Don't roll your eyes or show body language when they fail. However, do remind them failure is data, not identity. So here's my challenge for you this week. Pick one of these tools, just one, and try it with your athlete. If you're a parent, maybe it's the car ride home question. If you're a coach, maybe it's building the team hitting routine. And then DM me or tag Coffee Talk with what you tried. I'll share some of your stories in next week's episode. This was part 1 of our mental health series, Pressure, Nerves, and Big Moments. Next week, we're diving into burnout, identity, and how to keep the joy alive in the game that we love. I'm BJ Johnson, and remember, we're not just raising athletes, we're raising humans. Please like, share, and follow. We'll see you next week. Thank you for joining me on this episode of Coffee Talk. Subscribe to our channel and connect with us on social media to keep the conversation going. Ready to grow the game we love? Join us at aroundthedirt.com. The bigger our community, the stronger the game. Play ball, connect all.